Since the fall of 2016, we have been taking trips around the Southeast, exploring and looking for remote routes and destinations. The bulk of our trips have been in the fall, with the first trip taking place in the Cherokee National Forest in 2016. At first, it was an excuse to go take pictures and spend time with friends. Gradually, it morphed from overnight photography trips to multi-night explorations of remote destinations. Last fall, we took on the Daniel Boone Backcountry Byway, explored the area around the Red River Gorge, and hiked to the Natural Bridge. It was a tremendous trip for us, full of excitement and exploration, as we had never been to that area before. Over the course of the year after we returned, a bigger idea was growing. The next trip loomed in our minds, and Georgia was once again on the agenda. Having already completed the Cohutta Wilderness Big Frog Loop in 2019, it was decided to take on the full route known as the Georgia Traverse. The plan was relatively simple. Pack everything except for the food the night before. Meet Topher and Chief in the interstate near home. Drive south, rendezvous with Ben in Fort Payne, Alabama. It seemed pretty straightforward. As usual, however, plans soon changed. Topher, Chief, and I ended up rendezvousing at the first rest stop on 59 South in Georgia, which happens to be in Alabama. From there, it was south towards Fort Payne to meet up with Ben.
Hey, stranger.
Que pasa, senor?
Hey, where you at?
I am at the North Payne exit, getting ready to turn and come across 59 into town from the north end.
Okay.
Where are you at?
Yeah, so we parked at the parking lot right next to the park. You'll see the statues of the band Alabama.
Right.
And we're like literally in the parking lot next to that, and then we walk like a block down. There's a outdoor store called Fort Payne Footworks.
Okay.
Anyway, we're just in here wasting time, so we can meet you over there when you pull in. I'll just, unless y'all want to jump in here, but it's just a typical outdoor store. So.
All right, man. Yeah, we may run in and stretch our legs for a little bit. I was going to let you know we are approaching.
Okay.
Trouble approacheth. Trouble approacheth. Whoa, buddy.
I'm ready.
All right, man. Me too.
See you in a minute. Bye.
See you, bye. It didn't take long for a little complication to arise. I pulled up at the parking lot where Ben was, only to find that Topher and Chief, who had pulled off to get some cutlery, needed a little help finding the parking lot. This is where having good communication strategies plays a big role. We were able to link up on the ham radio.
Yes, sir.
And figure out where everybody needed to be.
Off of 5th, correct?
This may actually be 4th. It's stop at number 7.
I think that was the one we turned at. We're turning around, heading back that way.
Alright, I'll be looking for you.
As we gathered in the parking lot, a man came up to us, interested in our vehicles, and noted that he was a Toyota aficionado as well. He quickly offered us the opportunity to come see something that none of us had ever seen. His family owned a sock mill,
See you in a second.
and he was opening the doors for us to come see how it all worked.
This ran forever. These were the original machines. My grandmother ended up buying the old building. It's an antique mall down here on 8th Street. These are the machines. These aren't ones just like them. These are the original machines for the time. So this old starter doesn't work on this. This is a real old motor, but I have to pull it to start. It's just got needles that are coming up and grabbing the yarn. I mean, it's literally knitting this thing just like your grandma would knit something at super high speed. So you got a cotton yarn, you got a rubber yarn, or actually this is the rubber, this is a poly backing.
In a matter of minutes, Glenn quickly taught us and brought us up to speed on the fact that Fort Payne, Alabama, at one point in history, had been the sock capital of the world, how he had come to acquire these machines, and how these machines, though antiques, are still being used to produce socks for school groups, which he gives away. While he is not making money from his small sock mill, he is making memories and providing an education for those who might have not been the wiser about Fort Payne's history, and that includes us.
Stuff that they were throwing away, and I'm using the same with the colors. I mean, this is kind of our signature color, but we're almost out of yarn. So we'll have to have a new signature color.
Where do you market these, or do you
Only get
to meet them?
I got to give them to school.
The history of it, all that.
Glenn, thank you for taking time out of your day to show a bunch of strangers your sock mill. It is one of the highlights of our trip, and we can't thank you enough.
We rolled up here in our rendezvous point, and we ran into a guy named Glenn. Nice guy, local guy. He owns the real estate shop here, and come to find out, he owns a lot of Fort Payne, and he's got an old sock shop. Took us down there and showed us how Fort Payne used to operate. Apparently Fort Payne was the hub of socks. Who knew? But we got to experience making some socks, got some free socks. Koozies. And as Paul says here, a unique koozie, a sock koozie. So we get a chance to try those out on our trip. Neat way to start the trip. Local history.
After a quick meeting,
Anyway, we're excited. It was fun.
we saddled up and headed out for the first miles of our trip on the Georgia Traverse.
Welcome to the Georgia Traverse, Fall Fiasco 2020.
Go ahead and lock in them hubs and code 4 high.
We might get to someplace we need that, but I don't think I need it right now.
A few miles up the road, and we made our first turn onto dirt and off of the pavement. We were excited to finally see what Georgia had to offer in an area where we'd not been before.
So we just bumped into the Mountain State overland guys, and I was just talking with Ben here. We've had quite the interesting day. Not only did we get to see how they used to make socks in Fort Payne, Alabama, but we bumped into the MSO guys in the middle of nowhere in Georgia on the Georgia Traverse. They're running the Trans-American Trail. We wish them the best of luck. Hope everything goes well for them. Safe travels. They didn't have any issues with beyond what they had with their ferry yesterday. But I'm thinking this is turning into quite the adventure. This is turning into some stories.
Yeah, it's a neat experience already on day one, a few hours in. I mean, you just never know what the trails may hold and what the adventure is. So, already proving to be an awesome trip.
Fantastic.
Now, to me, there is just something adventurous about creek crossings. No two are ever the same, and for whatever reason, I get a heightened sense of being on an adventure when we're crossing creeks with our vehicles. Perhaps it's just me, but I find them truly, truly special.
Here, I've been in the Nantahala,
Yeah.
been in the Pisgah, been in the Cherokee, But the Chattahoochee I have not explored, so this is exciting to be in some new territory.
Yeah, we came down here spring 2018 and spent a couple nights just kind of driving around this big loop, the Coahutta Wilderness Loop on the Georgia Traverse. We did that over a couple of nights and kind of explored the area, saw some sights, did some things, but felt like it was worth the trip to come back and do the whole route. I know that a lot of the topography is going to be the same because we're in the mountains.
There's just something about doing the whole loop, though, completing it in one trip as opposed to section by section. So I feel you.
So if you can check that off the box and say, all right, we've done this.
As we approached our first night's camp, Ben and I began to discuss our adventures, where we had been before, where we would like to go, and what we hoped to see while on this trip. We discussed different seasons, their advantages, and the truth that there is always something new to see. You just have to go in order to see it. We discussed different vehicles, what our, at this point in time, ideal vehicle for this kind of travel would be, and what we would do differently with our current rigs if we had the opportunity. We just caught up, and it was an awesome time with close friends.
Friday, what is today's date?
9th, right?
Today is the 9th. Yeah, October the 9th, 8:15 in the morning.
Day 2, Georgia Traverse.
Just hanging out, waiting on old Doc over here to fix some breakfast. Got all of the tents packed up. It's I don't know if you can hear the rain coming in. Hoping this isn't the beginning of Hurricane Delta.
And if it is, that's okay, because anybody can do it in pretty weather.
That's right.
The morning of day 2 found us awakening to a light drizzle.
Ben, how'd you sleep?
We knew the weather was going to be changing, but the timing remained in question. We talked over our options. The plan had always been for 3 nights, moving some each day to maximize downtime and relaxation. With a hurricane in the forecast, the notion of making a larger push on day 2 and camping in the same place the 2 subsequent nights became a real possibility, and, depending on the weather, finishing the trail on day 3 and heading home loomed as an option. Since we decided on a larger push for today, we decided to prep dinner for a possible roadside crash later on that night.
Get it close. My wife has looked all over for that. You know where we got that? We got that in Food City and Little City. There's no salt coming out. I don't know why.
On tonight's menu was cilantro lime chicken burritos. It's a recipe that I picked up online and have had great success with. Now, these guys and I like to give each other a hard time. There's no question that there's an air of sarcasm when it's appropriate.
Well, I can tell you for certain that the egg came first.
What's that y'all's?
Garlic powder's on the top of the cooler.
Oh yeah.
When you're zesting limes on a camping trip, that's another level.
Ooh la la.
Yeah, right.
It's like French or something.
Yeah.
Mexican? French Mexican? It's ooh la la and tacos. Welcome to Cooking with Chris. Today we make the marinade.
So we got this ready.
Yeah, I'm just gonna cut the chicken up and throw it in and
You ain't gonna cut that up.
What?
Chainsaws in the back of the other Forerunner.
Options. I got an axe. I got a hatchet.
Oh, hang on, before you do that, I'm telling you.
Yeah, now that it's frozen and not pliable, you're probably not going to fit it all in there. I have faith in you, Romans. Go for it. I want to see it. I want to see it happen.
But we reserve the right to say,
Yeah,
we told you so.
Hey man, I got warm
Well
hands.
played, sir. Well played.
I got warm hands.
You missed it a minute ago. I am impressed with cutting that well.
I mean, that's
Oh, it's the sharpest knife.
it's chicken slushy. Because it's really not frozen.
See? I told you I did it
So
right.
I do have baggies. Push comes to shove.
We've got the cedar bag that we've used for everything.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that would give it a little extra level of
Yeah.
fusion.
I mean, chicken's not supposed to slice like
bread.
mochi.
It's cold.
That's good sound.
It's kind of
It's like celery. I would be more impressed if you done that faster.
Yeah, kind of like, yeah.
Come on, where's your Gordon Ramsay at?
Yeah, it's like a.
Yeah.
I thought we were in a professional environment.
Yeah. Gordon Ramsay cuts that chicken a lot faster.
Yeah, but you can always feel his fingers.
And thinner.
See, half of that chicken looks mostly thawed.
Yeah, that's
It
what I'm
doesn't
worried
feel
about.
mostly cold.
We're all gonna die. It's gonna touch the other chicken that was frozen. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Contamination.
Contamination, cross-contamination between
Yeah.
Food
partially
safety.
frozen chicken and frozen chicken.
Food safety.
Cooking at different rates, thawing at different rates.
I really got
That's
find
true.
new friends.
Romans, if you could find new friends, you wouldn't be standing here. I'm in the same boat.
Is it gonna fit?
Push it down.
It's gonna get.
Well, if it wasn't froze, it'd probably compress.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see.
If anybody would like to be my friend, my cell phone number is.
So I'm just gonna leave this, and once it does thaw a little bit, when we stop, we just need to shake it around a little bit. How about that?
Yeah, shake it.
Food is prepped. Time to pack it up and hit the road.
Just put a daggone bladder in it. Seen guys all the Jeep forums do that with their bumpers. Just fill the bumper. Yeah.
As we rolled into the morning, With frequent rain showers crossing our path, the forecast drew more and more of our attention. It became apparent that we needed to make some serious mileage, and we were heading into a portion of the route where the distances between campgrounds was going to be longer. We were in completely new territory, leaving the portion of the route that we had completed previously. Questions were beginning to pile up.
Near steady temperature in the mid-60s. Southeast winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Chance of rain 80%.